Hi everyone, this is Jaya Karamchandani, and today I want to share with you the meaning of repeated numbers in your date of birth. If you have the date of birth that has number 1 appearing in your date more than once, then in numerology we call it repeated numbers. Let's say someone who is born on November 11th, 1987. So here we go. In this case, November is the 11th month. It has double 1. And born on 11th has double 1, and 1987 again it has 1. So total one number has appeared in this date of birth 5 times. So that will be called repeated numbers. So this is going to be a 9-part series, and in each episode I'm going to talk about one number. So this is all about number 1. There is a different meaning attached each time a number shows itself more than once. So number 1 is represented by sun. And what is sun? It's the energy that is by in its own brings originality, confidence, determination, and the willingness to be different, the willingness to do differently. Now, that individuality also brings the leadership skills. Let's say, as I shared the date of birth of November 11th, 1987, what you do in this case, create the grid, the numeroscope as you see on the screen, and see how many times you got number 1. Like in this case, it's 5 times. But let's begin with someone who has number 1 show up in their date of birth once. So if you have 1 appearing in your date of birth once, that means this 1 will bring you some of the qualities. I call it underbalanced 1 in your date of birth. So it will give you a bit of the confidence, but what it will do is it will make you not share your innermost thoughts freely or confidently. You will be reluctant, and it will be very hard for others to understand you as well, and it also gives difficulty to understand others as well. That is when you have 1 showing up in your date of birth once. So yes, there is some creativity, but due to that lack of self-confidence, they are a bit fearful. They lack a bit of a self-respect, so they're not able to share their ideas or thoughts freely. That is when 1 has appeared for 1 time. Now, whatever I'm sharing with you in this video or in any of the videos in this 9-part series, it's based on my own interpretation, insights, and which I have seen over many years of my practice. It may not stand true for all, but this is what generally I have seen. Now let's say number 1 appears twice in your date of birth. So this is called balanced 1 energy. So when you have number 1 twice, this is someone who is very creative, can clearly communicate to others their own perspective and ideas, and also understands other very well, and can easily go blend in the environment and help explain their own point of view to others. So you would say the complete individuality or the grace or the originality can be seen if you have twice number 1 in your date of birth. Now, what happens if you have number 1 3 times? If you have 3 times number 1, what it will do is, you must have heard the word chatterbox, someone who chatters, does talking all the time. So yes, if you have number 1 3 times, they are social butterfly. They love to talk and communicate. Oh yes. And you would love to listen them as well, because they portray their ideas, their feelings so beautifully. And you very well, you can call them talkative. Now, the way they communicate their ideas nicely, beautifully, is one side. They can also be introverts. They can keep their ideas within themselves and only speak when needed. So there is a good balance of energy, but most of the time, if you see someone who has 3 times number 1, be ready. They love to talk. Yes. And they talk well. Now, if you have number 1 4 times, what do you do in that case? Well, if you have number 1, in this case 4 times, what it will do is, again, you will have the qualities of number 1. Yes, you will have your own ideas, but what it will do is it will make hard for you to express it. This is called overbalanced energy of number 1. Now, too much of one energy here will make you restless. You will have so many ideas and you will be so creative that it will be hard to express it properly. You will often not find or feel that you belong to the crowd in which you are speaking or talking to others. And this may create misunderstandings because your thoughts are on a totally different plane than the crowd you're trying to mingle with. It will be very difficult. And yes, you won't be able to understand others as well. It goes to an extreme. Now, this is one side. What the other side can do, in case you have number 1 5 times or more, it makes you compassionate. It makes you kind-hearted. But these people find it very difficult to express themselves in huge gatherings. This is overall when you have 1 time or 5 times or more. Just remember, when you have 1 shown up twice, it's the balanced energy. Anytime it is more than once, then it becomes too much. Just think of anything. If you have too much of it, what do? You need some way to vent it out. So these people become great writers, thinkers, or artists. They need some kind of outlet to share their energy. Now, if this one has the other numbers in the date of birth that is feeding their individuality, then it can make them selfish as well. They can become very stubborn, strong-headed, domineering personality, and someone who only talks about me, mine, myself, very individualistic. That is overpowered energy of number 1. So just look at the screen. This is the date of birth, APJ Abdul Kalam. Now, in his date of birth, you have 1 shown up 4 times. And as I said, if you have 1 more than twice, it can make you great writers, thinkers, researchers. They need an energy. They do something amazing if the energy is harnessed in a beautiful way. And coincidentally, he had number 1 4 times, and he was the 11th president of India as well. And when he died, interestingly, the fact here, he was of the age of 83-year-old. If you add 83, it again gives you 11, double 1. So if a number has repeated itself, this is an indication that that number will be very important to you in your life as well. And the other number, date of birth here I want to share is of Cairo. Very well known globally for his practice and knowledge about astrology, numerology, and palmistry, the occult sciences. He again has number 1 shown up in his date of birth 4 times. The energies can be utilized to its best potential or in the negative way. It just doesn't happen just because that 1 number showed up 4 times, 5 times, or 3 times. It also depends on other numbers that have showed up in your life. And as I shared, this is part 1 of this 9-part series on repeated numbers. Let me know your thoughts, comments here. Let me know how many times you got number 1 in your date of birth. And please give me a like and a share. Next episode, I'll be sharing about number 2. Thanks for watching.